You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So we're once again joined with Dave. As always, it's good to speak to you. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could just introduce yourself to our listeners first of all, and then we'll cover some of the areas you want to cover.
Okay, good to be back on the show, Daniel. It's Dave Harcourt from Swale Community Leisure, where I'm the Executive Officer for the Trust that runs both Sheerness Leisure Complex and Swallows in Sittingbourne. So good to be back.
So how's business leading up to Christmas?
Well, Christmas is traditionally the quiet time. December is when you find fewer people come in and visit the site. So it is quiet at the moment, but that's good because that allows us to prepare for the new year. So we're busy working on what offers we might have up and coming in January. And of course, it'd be great if you don't mind, Daniel, whether I can come back on air in January sometime to tell you more about them.
Yeah, that'd be really, really good, and I'm sure our listeners would be interested as well to be updated.
Excellent. Well, I'll look forward to that then. Okay, and that's it for the moment. And obviously, we're trying to keep things turning over. We're keeping all the bricks and mortar and the roof intact so that we can keep some of this awful weather out.
Now, I understand that there's been a number of reports of antisocial behaviour. I was hoping you could tell us what's been happening there.
Now, it's interesting that you got to hear about that, but it definitely has been a rise in antisocial behaviour over the autumn and winter this year, actually. I guess with the dark nights coming in, there are fewer things for young people to do, and I guess that's the opportunity for them to get up to, shall we say, some antisocial behaviour, but things which actually we'd rather avoid. I mean, I think we all understand that young people sometimes, if they're bored, they may mess around and carry out jokes and pranks, but actually it's got a little bit out of hand this year, I think. Things like damaging the roof on the centre and throwing tiles at people, throwing eggs at members of the public, which really these are the things which nobody wants to see or hear about.
Now, I'd imagine quite a concern. So is there anything that can be done about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a concern for everybody. I mean, it's made it very difficult, I think, first of all, for members of our staff. Can you imagine working in the dark? They don't work by themselves. They do work with other members of staff around. But nevertheless, it can be alarming if you end up with things being thrown at you or knowing that when you walk out of the entrance, there could be people hanging around waiting to be abusive. And of course, for our customers, when sometimes it's very difficult to actually pluck up the effort or sometimes the courage to actually come down to the gym and use the centres and then find that actually they're being abused either on arrival or when they leave. So it's not been very good in that respect as well. So one of the things we've been doing is we have been working with the police, with the community wardens, with the PCSOs, trying to raise the presence and the profile of the area so that we can at least look out for the safety of our customers and staff. That's been done, and I think maybe we need to explore, and we have been exploring different examples of how we can try and improve the area, because I do think one of the issues is the fact if on a dark night and there's no lighting or limited lighting, it's very quiet, not too many people about. It's very easy for groups to hang around and congregate where there may be lit up areas. So, for example, where there's a road leading up to the entrance to a building, as we have on Sheppey Leisure Complex.
So is there anything else that you can do to deal with it, or better ways, or other ways of dealing with the problem?
My personal view is that really, I think the agencies and partners that work in the area, so not just Swale Community Leisure, but the council, Sheppey Matters, and organisations like yourselves, to be honest, Daniel, could get together and maybe come up with ideas how we can improve the area. Because I do think one of the worst things is if you've got an area that looks run down, regardless of what sort of service it offers, you're more likely to suffer antisocial behaviour and vandalism. Now, one of the things we've been trying to do is pull together a group which we call our ASB group, so our Antisocial Behaviour Group, very grand title for a group of interested people who want to make a difference. And we're looking at ways we can improve the areas outside the centre. So, for instance, there's a disused ball court near the tennis courts, and we're looking at how we can probably improve that, maybe put some lighting up and run perhaps a youth group. But we do need partners to support us, and it's a bit of a task which we're going to carry out through this winter so we can launch those ideas in the summer. In actual fact, what it does, it harks back to the original Beach Shores project, which, if you recall, is actually why I came on the programme in the first case.
Was there anything else you'd like to cover or get over to our listeners or let them know about?
Yeah, I think the antisocial behaviour is one area which is really important to us at the moment. We've got lots of things coming up in the new year, but I'll hold off on that one, if you don't mind, until I come back in January, when I can let you and the listening public know what it is we've got on offer at the centres. Clearly, the new year is the time when everybody has New Year's resolutions. They want to become fitter, healthier, and come along and take part in more social activities. Well, we are the place to come, and I believe it's one of the best places on the island. So I'll look forward to sharing with you any offers we have for people that may have not been to the centre before, may want to come and join and fulfil their resolutions for the new year. So let's look forward to January.
Well, as always, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to our listeners, and of course I hope you have a great Christmas.
Thank you very much, and a great Christmas to you too. Look forward to seeing you in January.